19th century politics. Italy. Prior to the 19th century, Italy had been more of a disjointed collection of independent city-states. Than an actual nation. So Italy was made up of lots of smaller city-states that functioned largely independently instead of being one connected nation. However, in the 19th century, there was a drive to unify the region. So many people wanted to unite all of these independent city-states into one nation known as Italy. A leader from the Piedmont region, Camillo Cavour, tried to bring the various city-states together through diplomacy rather than combat. So he wanted to try to reach this unification by talking to everyone, working together, trying to figure out what would work and what people would be happy with diplomatically rather than with combat. He didn't want to conquer all the other independent city-states and force them to be together. He wanted them to do it because they wanted to be part of the unification, or they would at least be willing to do it if it wasn't what they originally wanted. This process took a very long time, but was eventually completed in the 1870s. So it did take a while for Italy to become one united nation, but in the 1870s that happened. Northern Italy, which had close contact with Germany, became industrialized. And that was because around the same time, Germany was becoming very industrialized. So since they were so close and had close contact, as Germany was experiencing the Industrial Revolution, Northern Italy did so as well. And the city of Milan enjoyed immense growth. So Milan is a city in northern Italy, and it grew a lot during this Industrial Revolution that came to northern Italy. As people were flocking to urban centers, Milan is a city that really expanded during this time. Southern Italy, on the other hand, remained largely rural. So southern Italy was not located and did not have close ties with Germany. So since they weren't as close to Germany, they didn't have close contact with Germany, they didn't really industrialize like northern Italy did. And even northern Italy industrializing didn't really influence southern Italy much. Southern Italy remained largely rural. People didn't feel the need to industrialize in that region. And this distinction between the two halves of Italy would eventually be a source of conflict in the future. So two parts of a country that have such very different economic systems going on is going to cause some conflict. And so in the future, that did cause a conflict for Italy. But during the 19th century, Italy was united as one nation instead of maintaining their status as several independent city-states, and that was done through diplomacy rather than combat, which was a different way of doing things than most of the other nations in Europe did. So by working together and using diplomacy, Italy was united, and this was in the 1870s. Northern Italy quickly became industrialized while it was close to Germany and maintained close contact with Germany, while southern Italy remained mostly rural.